If you're looking for price appreciation on some tokens, then check this one out.
The invention of cryptocurrencies brought us alternatives to the traditional financial system. HEX is the next step in that evolution, designed to replace high-interest time deposit savings accounts. Stake your HEX coins for a fixed time period, and once your stake expires, HEX pays you the interest you're owed. The longer lockdown period you choose, the higher interest rate you receive. HEX is a smart contract built on top of the Ethereum network, providing you trustless, decentralized interest without any banking fees or middlemen. Bitcoin miners generate about 650,000 coins a year in total. They have to sell most of it to cover their high electricity costs, forcing down the price of Bitcoin on the market. Rather than paying miners, HEX pays the stakers instead, who have no mining costs pushing down the price of HEX. And the more people stake their coins, the less will be available on the market for buyers, which in turn increases the price of HEX. However, if less people stake, then the contract automatically increases the amount of interest earned by the remaining stakers. This balance ensures that it's always beneficial to be a staker. You can already buy HEX on a growing number of exchanges. If you are a Bitcoin holder, why not hold your investment in an asset that actually rewards you for holding?
So if you think that sounds interesting, guys, check that link down below and see what this company's got going for it. It really does look good. Or you can check this next video out here.
HEX is the first certificate of deposit on the blockchain. It's an immutable smart contract that rewards those who lock up their coins when they stake. In other words, HEX was designed to be like a long-term savings account, but with far greater yield than anything the bank has to offer. If you're new to cryptocurrencies, here's how all of this works. When you purchase HEX, it behaves just like any other cryptocurrency. They vary in price as people trade them, just like Bitcoin. However, unlike other crypto assets, HEX pays you interest in the form of more HEX for locking up your monetary value for a selective period of time. The longer you time lock your HEX, the higher your interest rate will be. This is not unlike a traditional banking certificate of deposit. The key difference is, HEX was designed to yield extraordinarily high rates of return versus typical banking products, and puts you in complete control over your finances. But what does this really look like? Some people get into HEX without understanding enough about the product. They immediately make a large investment and throw out a few random stakes between 1 to 2 years. While this is great, HEX was designed to produce significant returns in both interest and fiat value over the course of several years, not just 1 or 2. If you properly understand its design, you can set yourself up to earn a perpetual passive income from HEX. This is like planting an orchard of apple trees. Apple trees are designed to take time to fully mature before they yield significant amounts of produce. HEX was designed in much the same way. Could you imagine trying to live on 2-year-old fruit trees that only just started producing a fraction of their full potential? Sure, you may see significant growth and even yield a little produce, but it would be impossible to enjoy the fruits of your labor for years to come. But what if you employed a longer-term plan in the development of your apple orchard? What if you planted a new crop each year from years 1 to 15? And what if you continued this process every year thereafter? If you did this, you would essentially have a never-ending supply of apples for generations. Can you imagine how much produce you'd receive from your 10 to 15-year-old apple trees? You could supply enough apples to feed a small country. This is exactly how HEX savings works. It's a long-term savings account. Now, I'm not saying you should lock up all of your HEX for 15 years and forget about it, although some have, and they seem to be quite happy with their decision. I'm saying, if you build a proper staking ladder, one that sets stakes to mature up to 10 or 15 years from today, you can enjoy the maximum yield on your investment for years to come. Having stakes set to mature between years 1 through 15 allows you to enjoy the fruits of your investment early, while also giving you the patience and discipline to reap potentially life-changing rewards in the longer term. It's the same as enjoying the abundant fruits of a 15-year-old apple tree versus a 1-year-old tree. Imagine if Bitcoin was designed this way. All of those who bought Bitcoin for $1 in the early years maybe wouldn't have sold all of their holdings at $10. and missed out on an additional 600,000% ROI in less than 7 years, not to mention where the price is today. Maybe if Bitcoin earned more Bitcoin in the form of interest for holding, more investors would hold long-term and be less likely to sell. These supply and demand economics cause the price to soar with very little sell pressure. It's a model that allows everyone the opportunity to succeed. What happens if the global HEX network only sells their interest monthly, quarterly, or yearly and restakes their remaining principal? Theoretically, it allows for the most stable price appreciation to the upside over time. Climbing prices, coupled with unparalleled interest rates for HEX stakers, creates a positive feedback loop that ultimately leads to one thing: freedom for all. Learn more and get started today at hex.com.
Please note, with my crypto project there is no financial advice whatsoever. All I'm doing is letting you know where I'm going and what I'm doing with my project. What you do with yours is entirely up to you. Hopefully you're only depositing money you can afford to lose into any token or passive income service or whatever it is you're doing out there in the crypto world. But this is definitely one I'll be going for. If you want more information on it, guys, there's a few links below the video there. And as we can see here, HEX is the first blockchain CD, and that's called Certificates of Deposit, the highest appreciating asset. Cryptocurrencies are the highest appreciating asset class in history of mankind. Bitcoin's price did 6.5 million X from 1 cent to $65,000 in 12 years. Craziness. HEX removes the middlemen. HEX share price went up 10,287x so far. It started off at 56 cents and is at 5,761 right now. And there's no reason why that can't grow. HEX has low inflation. HEX has a market cap of 175 billion and is the third biggest cryptocurrency per nomics.com, TradingView and Coin Ranking and more. Over 300,000 BTC in over 30,000 addresses minted their own HEX using HEX contract. HEX pays 40% API on average. So with this one we're connecting our MetaMask. So I have actually deposited some to MetaMask and I'm going to be purchasing some tokens right now. We can actually purchase them here on the actual website. So when we look on CoinMarketCap, we can get a hell of a lot more details here and find out more places where we can purchase it. So it's on Uniswap version 2 and version 3. And 0x protocol, and as you can see here they've got two websites, hex.com, go hex win. So we've got hex.com here, and as we can see on their main website we can just purchase it straight away from here. So as we can see, got some Ethereum here, but I've got no hex just yet. So I'm going to add hex right now. So I'll just pick up the contract address from here, and then we can add the token via the contract address, which I'll leave below. As we can see here, hex, click on it, next, here we go, hex. So I'm back on the home page here, ready to purchase some hex. And when we go to CoinMarketCap here, we see the second website, this is where we're staking. So when we've actually purchased some hex, we can come back to this second website and then stake it. I'll do more videos on that in the future. On this video, I'm just going to purchase some right now, make sure I'm getting them in my portfolio. This is definitely a project I want to be involved with. I do have a diversified portfolio and I only invest money I can afford to lose. When I'm making profit on a particular project like this, it enables me to target other projects whilst still being involved with this project as well. So let's do 0.3 Ethereum. How many hex will that get me? 2,000 hex. I'll have that. Let's do that. Confirm the swap. Now I'm learning to leave Ethereum and BNB and everything in there for gas. I'm getting more and more used to using these wallets, these Chrome wallets with all the smart contracts. And it looks like a lot of the newest and best projects out there are all decentralized using these contracts. So we'll just give it a bit of time. So we'll confirm that, and we can see I'm paying 0.17 gas fee, but I don't mind that. We know what Ethereum's like, it's just ridiculous with the gas fees. Look at this as well. Richard Hart is making a new Ethereum fork with lower fees. I'll be looking into that big time, guys, big time. So we close this. Transaction submitted. View on Etherscan, close. So when we go to assets now, we can see 2077 hex. Anyway, guys, hex has now been added to my portfolio. Whether you add them to yours is entirely up to you, but please only invest money you can afford to lose if you do. And as soon as you're making some nice profits from it, take some out, get your initial cash back out, and then hedge your bets against another good looking project out there. Anyway, like I say, none of this is financial advice, but you never know, some of these projects might actually work. I mean, Bitcoin did. Catch you in the next video. Bye now.